Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Tonight we're talking about Ahsoka streaming on Disney Plus, and one episode was in the movie theaters. Will the end also end up in the theater? Who knows? Tonight to talk about our very own Clone Wars and Rebels aficionado, Chris.
That's right, here with all of my hermit crab friends.
Yeah, and all their funky little language. And speaking of funky, I am your host, Bad Kitty Surgery. Guys, when we last left off, we had an incredible episode with also some shiny key jangling. We had Anakin Skywalker up here in front of Snips as she went in between the world between worlds after Baylan Skolla yeeted her off the stage, pow, KO, and sent her to the world between worlds where she learned her last lesson from her former master, Anakin Skywalker. This episode, we are seeing what happened to Sabine Wren in the aftermath of her giving the map to Baylan Skoll and her going off with Morgan Elsbeth into this new planet. Man, what a spooky planet, Chris. We come up on this thing and he's talking about, yeah, this is where the Purgles go to die. It's actually a graveyard. And we get this beautiful shot of what looks like a Saturn, desaturated Saturn with rings, but the rings are actually the bones of the Purgle. I was like, ooh, spooky.
That's dark.
Bro,
that's some hyenas from the Lion King shit.
Yeah, the Shadowlands.
The elephant graveyard.
Dude, beautiful visuals. So damn, they are cooking over here. We go up onto the Eye of Sion with Morgan Elsbeth and the new Dark Jedi, and they're like, okay, we're coming up on the planet. We're getting a signal from the surface. Let's head down there. Boom, we hit down there. We find this tall Minas Tirith, this huge Isengard tower. Man, Filoni is really borrowing from everything. Fuck. Love to see it though. The visuals are striking, absolutely striking. I mean, he's really trying to make this show more mature, which I kind of like the tone of it all. And we get to see Chris, some three beings standing there. The Night Sisters. Christopher, the Night Sisters are are an order. They're a mage. Can you refresh us? For those like myself who don't know, the Night Sisters.
Yeah, so the Night Sisters they're also Force users, but they use the Force in kind of a different way. It's very much like witch magic. They a lot of times they call them witches, and they kind of had set up residence on their homeworld of Dathomir. Also where Darth Maul is from. So you know what Darth Maul, what the males look like, and a lot of their counterparts, the females, look like these Night Sisters that we see there. And they actually look like I believe they're referred to as the Queen Mother, who we had seen, the really powerful Night Sisters that we see on there. In fact, one of Count Dooku's apprentices, oh my gosh, I'm spacing on her name, was actually a Night Sister. But she friggin' ruled. She was also kind of a Sith, and it was great. Anyways, so Force users, they just use the Force in a very different way, kind of like dark magic, kind of tied to the undead. There was a whole big siege of Dathomir that General Grievous had led, and they had a moment where basically the Night Sisters were mostly defeated, and they used their magic to have the Night Sisters kind of raise from the dead and continue fighting on. But even in the end, it wasn't even enough before they were pretty much all wiped out, which is why there's only a few of them left over at the moment.
Yeah, and a soul ghetto guy, hot goth moms. Wow.
Goth moms. Asajj Ventress. That's the name. Sorry, I just remembered. Before I forget, Asajj Ventress, badass apprentice of Count Dooku, who is kicked to the curb by Count Dooku, and then eventually tries to kill him, but is unsuccessful. But yeah. Hot goth moms.
Yeah, I really liked Asajj Ventress. That was a really good. It would have been dope to see her in live action, dude. I just want all that stuff. Just
hell yeah.
For Filoni, if you can just go back and make that all that live action, it'll be really great.
Dude, she kind of just drops out. She shows up a little bit in the final season, but then she just kind of goes into the wind, and she would be sick. Also back in she was also kind of first premiered in the Samurai Jack Clone Wars. Yes. Where there's Count Dooku has a contest of a bunch of just powerful people that he wants to figure out. Basically the winner of this contest, whoever is the last man standing, becomes my apprentice, and she just wrecks house, and it's freaking awesome.
Dude, I love that verse. Ah, man, that's what also sold me on the animated, the 3D sort of Clone Wars, because that version, the people who made Samurai Jack made such a badass version of Clone Wars and Star Wars. It was so sick. Like it had a lot of action, a lot of like the really methodical, thought out scenes. Like there wasn't really too much dialogue at certain points, just action, and it was so good, so good.
Dude, Grievous was literally a horror movie villain. It was phenomenal. Like the best
not your status
version of Grievous.
quo. What's going on, guys? Also, another incredible podcast of geeks in their round table, speaking about Star Wars and others. I got into your Star Wars episode in your chat, and you guys were having a great conversation. I thought I would get in there and ask some questions. So thank you guys for allowing me to be part of your stream there in the chat. That was great. Need to look for a bit, getting kids to bed. But yeah, not your status quo. Great group of guys so far. Great group of characters. Great conversation over there. It was a good convo. And thank you so much. You guys were awesome. Yeah, this is I. But yeah, man, thank you guys so much. So we normally stream our Geek Entertainment podcast on Thursdays around this time, 8 or 9 Eastern time. And then for the most part, I'm doing like gaming streams. So I've been we played all of Mortal Kombat campaign. I might get back in there. I was doing Sea of Stars, Starfield. There's so many games. There's so many games. It's so insane. But yeah, love seeing you guys here. Guys, give them a follow as well. They had a great conversation. And they're like Chris, into Clone Wars and Rebels. So I was able to ask certain, like how I'm asking Chris stuff here, I was able to ask them certain questions. They're able to fill certain things in. So that was great. Thank you guys so much for a good stream. Good bunch of guys there. You know, especially, I was, I'm more unfiltered here, but I was trying to be a bit more courteous and cordial when poking at Filoni and some of the problems I had with the whatever. Love both Clone Wars and Rebels. See, I couldn't really get into Rebels just because the animation, right? If the animation was like Arcane, I would have watched it all the way through. But I just couldn't watch the Playhouse Disney Nick Jr. stuff. Anyway, back to our show. All right, let's see where we go. Where did we go? So we arrive on the planet in which the Purgles used to forever sleep and slumber. We get over to the Minas Tirith Isengard Tower, the Dragonstone, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. And we get over to this huge tower, and we see the Night Sisters standing above it, just waiting for the arrival of Morgan Elsbeth and Balin Skoll and Shinhati and their prisoner, Sabrine Wren, who was like, we had a deal. I half expected the Balin to say, I've altered the deal. I don't alter it further. Man, Balin's a great character. And we see that they were expecting them, saying how Morgan had, really, really done their ancestors proud in the Night Sisterdom. And she's like, thank you. Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? He's coming. He's on his way. His Uber ride's almost here. Just wait for it. He'll be here in just a moment. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's a big planet. I half expected the Chimera to be in space, just above the planet, I guess. But it makes sense to be, I think, in orbit. You can get out, like stretch your legs, walk around, see what's down there, get resources, I guess. But yeah, I was half expecting them to like pop out of hyperspace and boom, there's the Chimera. But still really, really good intro.
Hell yeah. Menacing when the thing friggin' comes in too. Dude. It took its sweet time, and I was like, oh shit, this is happening. This is an arrival. Dude showed up late to the party because he was like, I'm making an entrance.
Also because he had, new set of duds on the Chimera. I mean, we got some gold inlay in there because last time, the end of Rebels, right, which last episode I watched recently, we had the rebels going up against the Chimera and the forces of the Empire there. His ship took a lot of damage. Ezra, to some of the Purgles, they did a lot more damage to the Chimera, really messed it up to where it looked like it was inoperable, and then blasted off into hyperspace saying everything's up to you and Sabine, I'm counting on you. And then pow, that's the last time we saw him. Now it looks like through some of the resources on this planet, it's rebuilt and it's able to function because you have some sick gold inlay. I was like, damn, it's about to be a hot toy. It's about to be a collector's item. People are like, yo, give me that gold Chimera. Let it come through. And I loved how it came down on top of the tower, Chris. That was so slick. I was like, yo, okay.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely incredible. But Chris, what was it like for you before we get into, him walking in, seeing the Chimera again? What was that like? What was your reaction?
I was like, wait a minute. I really expected. I know I talked about last week. I was like, I hope they don't do this, but I was definitely like 60% sure like Thrawn wasn't going to show up to the very last episode. So like seeing that ship come in, I was like, oh shit, it's happening now. Like they didn't waste much time getting to this point. And it was like, all right, we're here. Okay. It was badass. Loved it.
Dude, absolutely insane. I saw some reactions from Rebels fans like, oh, there it is. Just heads exploding, brain matter on the walls, just mind altering, just absolute crazy reactions in the pleasure centers of the brain. So here it comes. We got all the troopers standing around and look, I mean, damn, what happened to them? I mean, I didn't realize they were all jacked up that bad to where they had to use the planet's resources to rebuild their armor. They all had like gold and red inlay, which I love. They look almost like Roman legionnaires with like his new lead guy, Enoch. If you guys Google like a Roman Empire masks, it looks like a legionnaire mask. I was like, what's going on here? We're trying to do some Roman Empire type thing. Okay. Filoni
almost like a gladiator. History. I was like, is Ridley Scott in this thing right now? Where's Russell Crowe? He's going to pop out the side.
He's going to pop out and be like, he was actually his first lieutenant stormtrooper in there. Oh my God. And then thinking like Sabine used it for, yeah. Oh man, it was great. So Sabine's there. She's bound up and she's like, yo, where's Ezra? We had a deal. They sent her downstairs with a little thing. She's like, oh man, what's going to happen to me? Thrawn walks into the chanting of the troopers, which I thought was fun and cheeky. I was like, what is this? We're all like cheering Thrawn. What is this? Is that a command? Does Thrawn just have his boys just cheer for him?
Hell yeah.
You know, just, all right. I'm gonna cool entrance, guys. When I come out, just cheer for me. Okay, it's gonna look really cool. Dude, guy himself, over the shoulder shot. See him walking up, walking in, and then we see himself. Chris says, someone who has watched this guy animated over the years, same voice actor, the Mickelsons. Man, the Mickelsons are a good breed of actors, man. I mean,
Lars Mickelson's just any of the Mickelsons. It's like I just need a really terrifying Eastern European looking dude. Bring me either of the Mickelsons. We got this.
Yeah, but seeing him over the years, man, what was it like seeing him live action in the flesh? Boom, there he is on the screen.
Honestly, it looked like did they just shoot this in black and white and then colorize it?
Yes. Yo, I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
am I watching Sin City?
Yeah, there was some sort of like, I don't know, was there a technique they used? Because some of his skin looked like a black and white effect where they put the color over it. You know,
yeah,
you can see hints of like grayish and dark. I was like, huh?
Yeah, it didn't look like, it doesn't look like he's wearing makeup. Maybe he was like, I'm not wearing makeup for this. It's not happening. Like, I'm not standing the day, not bluing myself. Yeah, that was kind of felt like a little bit of the wind out of the sails. And I was like, oh man, like literally it looks like a camera trick more than it looks like a terrifying character. Well, like whatever. Then he opens his mouth and he's like, oh shit, it's Thrawn. He's just Thrawning right now.
He's just Thrawning.
He's just Thrawning right now.
Hard Thrawning. And like Not Your Status Quo pointed out, when Sabine's down there in the cell, she tries to use the Force on the door. I love how Filoni's like baiting if she is or is not. Can she not use the Force? What are we doing?
Thank God it wasn't actually like, oh yeah, she's doing it. I want to get out of this with no Force usage by Sabine. She can try all she wants, but I don't want it. I don't want it.
I think the last episode, she's going to get it. I think the last episode, Filoni's going to be like, listen, all my characters are special. I am rubbing my nipples right now. Look at my creations. All my characters are special. They all have the Force. Hera, like, is Force sensitive now. She can hear lightsabers in the worlds between worlds. Like, so Sabine has the Force. All my characters are amazing. Like, I'm a nerd, but Dave Filoni is a nerd. Oh my God. I think he's going to do it. I think in the last episode, we're going to see something where she saves somebody or does something, and then like she's going to have the Force. He's teasing it too much. So running expectations for there not to be a payoff, because all the Sabine TikTok stan accounts are screaming for her to have the Force. They are salivating for their queen to have the Force. I mean, if you've seen these fan accounts, they're like, Filoni, dude, please, come on, give it to us, you coward. And I'm like, oh my God, insane.
Listen, she's a badass Mandalorian. We saw her kick some ass as a Mandalorian. It's like, why are we giving her a lightsaber? Like, why bother? It's literally slowing her down. She's literally at her best when she's not using the lightsaber.
Yeah, until what happens later on in the episode. So Thrawn comes in, and man, hearing that voice, absolutely incredible. it sent goosebumps throughout the Star Wars fandom who watched the animated. Everyone who doesn't know who he is from being a live action fan was like, ooh, we get it now. We get it. This is the guy. He is a problem. You know, especially it's the way he methodically talks, right? Like the scariest person is the one in the room who doesn't scream or, you know, it's the one who will speak to you in a tone being like, oh, this guy can wreck some shop if he wanted to. This person is dangerous because someone who has actual strength doesn't need to exert themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if anyone knows anyone who's done like martial arts, MMA fighters, like jujitsu, like I know a couple of guys and like they in a bar situation never have to yell, never have to, because they know they can handle shit. And they always like just, and when it comes down to it, like they're always just like, hey, listen, I'm just trying to have my beer, chill out. Like that kind of strength. And Admiral Thrawn exudes that like crazy. So he comes through and I wonder, he's cultivating some resource that's there on the planet. And Morgan Elsbeth is like, oh, I'm at your pleasure, Admiral Thrawn. It's going to take about 3 cycles to get all this stuff going. And Chris, we see, I don't know what looks like caskets, what looks like, I don't know, boxes. I mean, people are speculating that maybe we have some ancient Dathomirans and maybe the Night Sisters are going to use some sort of magic to give Thrawn a new army.
It could be, but also like Thrawn is someone who is aware of his surroundings and likes to study the culture. So like one of the interesting things he talks about, you know, he says that he knows Sabine. Part of the reason that he knows Sabine really well is that when he was basically tasked with hunting down this rebel cell, he did his research on everyone. So Sabine is a known artist and he went out of his way to actually like go collect some of her art so that he could get like into her mindset. And the same thing with Hera, like he actually went down to Ryloth and like took over her parents' like I don't know, temple mansion, whatever. And he was like, yeah, I took your stuff so I can study like who you are, so I know who I'm up against. Like he knows the value of doing your homework. So if he's taking something, like there's a reason for it and there's a plan behind it. So whether it is like actually caskets or whether it's literally just some resources they found, there's a reason for him taking it, because it looks like a pretty desolate planet, which means if there's anything to take, then it's something that's worthwhile. And he immediately rolls in, is like, yeah, let's load it all up. So like this was always in the cards.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I mean, it's got to be something that propels us forward in the story, that we need to have a movie, because as we all know, or some of you who don't know, the Disney Plus Star Wars series are going to culminate in a movie that Dave Filoni is going to do. So there has to be some kind of major conflict that's coming that has to be resolved in that movie. So I wonder if it has something to do with something there. But yeah, so the Night Sisters alert Grand Admiral Thrawn that there seems to be someone on the way. There's a loose thread that we didn't see, someone riding the Travelers, a Jedi of sorts. And Thrawn, being the intellect that he is, like, could it be the thought to be deceased Ahsoka Tano? And they're like, unclear. Some sort of Jedi that's coming through here, like, okay. And then, you know, you love to see a smart character in any media, right? He's like, okay, let's assume that it's her until we know otherwise. Like, yes, because in any other thing, well, okay, let's just, okay, whatever. You know, but he's like, no, let's assume that it's her. That's the most likely person. Yeah. You know, and then they're like, okay, we also have a prisoner that these mercenaries brought in. Oh, you didn't say anything about that. Yeah, it's Sabine Wren. Oh, now that is a familiar name. And you know, and he's like, and who are you guys? Oh, this is Baylan Skoll and his apprentice Shin Hati. Oh, then you must be General Baylan Skoll of the Jedi Order. And you see the Night Sisters like, say what? They look over like, huh? Who? Do we need to put them into some magic? Into some bindings? And dude, I love Baylan Skoll. Rest in peace. He was just like, you know, I was once a part of the Jedi Order, no longer. Man, like Dave Filoni accidentally made a more, to me, my opinion, he accidentally made a more interesting story with Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll. I'm sorry, like I don't care, like I don't care about finding Ezra. I don't care about Sabine or Ahsoka in this. Like, he made a more interesting story with Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. I mean, the more they talk amongst themselves and the more you see them, I want to know more. I want a Tales of the Jedi. explaining who they are, where they came from, and even where they go, like beyond this. I mean, if they survive this show. But man, just talking about, the Jedi Order and how he fell, and, Shin even, asked him questions like, what are we doing here? What's the end goal? What are you after?
Yeah.
Because even, he didn't explain himself to his apprentice, but he's saying something along the lines of, there's something here. There's an opportunity or something to move things forward, like with the fall of the Jedi Order 66. Man, it's so crazy. He's been through so much. So I wonder what his plan is, because he has something that he wants, and he's going to get it through Thrawn.
Yeah.
Man, it's such interesting characters.
He hints at when, he said, like, I lost everything when I was, like, around your age. And it's like, okay, like, at what point did you leave? What point did you leave the Order? Because he clearly looked back and saw, like, the hubris. He's not looking back and be like, man, those are the good old days. He's looking back and be like, yeah, it was cool for a while, but then it got really, then the Jedi Order got messed up. So, like, he's definitely a guy who, like, saw the writing on the wall. To be honest, he sounds like Dooku. Like, watching the Tales of the Jedi and seeing Dooku's thing, which is absolutely phenomenal. And if you haven't watched that shit, get on it, because it's phenomenal. And I feel like he's kind of a stand-in for that kind of mindset, because Dooku, it seemed like he didn't really want to become a Sith, but he didn't really have, like, much of a choice, right? And Baylan seems like he's following a similar path. And it's badass, and it's interesting. Everything that he says, like, when he talks about the past, it's just like, keep talking, keep going. I want to know more.
Dude, seriously. I mean, the more questions that Shin Hati has, the more we do. I mean, she's just like, yo, what are you after? What are you doing? What's going on? Am I part of the plan? and I love that, he sort of explains Ezra a little bit, and Sabine, and Shin Hati says something along the lines of, oh, so kind of like me. And he's like, no, I trained you to be something more than a Jedi for the Jedi Order. And I was like, ooh, what's going on there? I want to see more. I want to know more.
Here it is, guys. It's the Gray Jedi. It's coming.
Oh,
it's coming.
Man. Dude, so they bring up Sabine Wren, and she's just like, General Grievous, shorter than expected. I love the whole exchange. Anakin Skywalker, I expected some of your reputation to be older. General Grievous, shorter than I expected. Jedi scum. he hated that so much. He hated his height being called, like, what? Because Mace Windu served him up, if you don't know. Mace Windu served him up, made him hunch over. That's why he hunches and coughs. Oh, man.
Just crunched him.
Just like, crunched him. That 2D animated him. So Sabine's just like, yo, listen, Baylan, we had a deal. Are you going to honor it? And Grand Admiral Thrawn's just like, listen, I heard you helped me out. Okay, I heard you help get here, get me out. I'm going to honor what you have with Baylan Skoll, okay? You have the ability to go find Ezra Bridger, go find him, but my ship is going to leave, and if you're not here when I get back, you're going to be stranded. If you're not here fast enough, you are going to be stranded. So go find your buddy Ezra. And she's like, you're just going to let me walk out of here? But smartly kind of questioning it, right? This is Animal Thrawn. Just sort of questioning the guy, being like, all right, what's the plan here? Because you're not, like, you play 40, 60 chess. And he's like, no, you help me out, so whatever. And it's revealed, he's just like, she'll have the ability to find Ezra Miller as promised, and then you, Dark Jedi, will destroy her. I knew it. He wasn't gonna let that rebel get away. He was like, bro, I am not chancing my second wind here, my second chance with this rebel. Absolutely not. I have the ability to eliminate two birds. I'm gonna take it. Thank you, Morgan Elsbeth, for bringing mercenaries. Put them to work. I don't care if they get back on the Chimera or not. I'm leaving. When I'm good, I'm leaving. If no one's on board the cruise ship, I'm leaving, like tourists who are not used to cruising.
We're chumming the waters and seeing what happens, but we're out of here.
Hell yeah. But Sabine, that exchange, Chris, Sabine was kind of, I don't know, man, she was kind of popping off a bit too much at Thrawn and everybody there, because they can throw her off that tower, off the top of Isengard. Like, chill out. She's like, yeah, I don't want to waste any more time. You guys gonna ride for me? Oh yeah, you wouldn't understand, Thrawn. Friendship. I was like, bro, chill. You're in his favor, but chill, right? It's just like, oh my God. It's just like, what's his name? The head Lannister, when he's talking to the tiny girl who has no name. He enjoyed her company. He liked her, but when she got a bit too snippy, he's like, careful, girl. I enjoy you, but be careful. I was like,
Later.
Sabine, be careful. Thrawn's like, thank you for bringing the ship here and my way out, but chill out. Like, you need to calm down, all right? She's like, yeah, thanks, Thrawn. Stupid. All right, give me a ride so I can go fight Ezra. Okay, cool. I'm like, chill. They can toss you off. Get out of here. And the Night Sisters look like they weren't playing around. They're like, she reeks of a Jedi. They look like they wanted to kill her just for smelling like Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yo, they're about to square up with her. I was like, yo, they're about to kill her just based on that. You know, but Balin's like, yeah, okay, chill. She's with me. We have a deal. All right. Holy hell, the Night Sisters, man. And Chris, is there some sort of beef the Night Sisters have directly with the Jedi Order? Because why were they so mad? Oh, she speaks of Jedi, this one. I was like, whoa, huh?
I mean, probably that I'm not remembering, but for the most part, they just have, they just have like different motivations. Like they definitely, because they pretty much align themselves with the Sith. Let's put it that way, right? Like they align themselves with Dooku. Because basically, when after Asajj Ventress got kicked out, Dooku shows up at the Night Sisters and is like, "Hey," the Queen Mother's like, "I need an apprentice." So they went, "Okay, go talk to the guys," and then that's where he gets Savage Opress, Darth Maul's brother, becomes his apprentice for a while. So like they know where their allegiances is.
Cage of Victor brings up something good. Maybe the Jedi frown on their use of the Force, like blood magic. Oh,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That could be a good idea, because the Jedi are like, listen, we're all about, peace and a certain way to use the Force, and blood magic is definitely, on the darker side. Yeah. Very, very unsavory. And it's probably why it wasn't talked. Like it probably was a reason why it wasn't really talked about, maybe in the OG, also because they didn't think about it then. But they're probably like, listen, we're not going to talk about that part of the Force. Okay, It's evil, it's bad. Don't even talk about it, right? Because even like in the prequels, they're like, Anakin, don't even worry about any part of the dark side. Don't even think about anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're getting these ideas from, but just put those aside. And Anakin's like, what? Shouldn't we use all parts of the Force? Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, so Grand Moff Thrawn's like, all right, here's this howler, here's this like monkey dog puppet CG thing.
Rodent of unusual size.
Yeah. Here's the thing with like an elf head and like the body of this gigantic wolf.
Dude, I was so confused because like there was like a shot from like outside the minister, if you will, and you see like the shadows of these things. And one of the big parts of the later seasons of Rebels is this idea of these loth wolves, which are just like really big wolves that are tied into the Force. And so when I saw them, I'm like, oh, so that's like just like a big dog. And then it shows up, I'm like, that just looks like a really bizarre looking like loth wolf, but like with a rat face. I was like, it's a wolf, but it's also a rat. It's weird. I was very confused when those things showed up. And I was like, all right, they're going to ride it. That's cool. But like, how many things are we going to make that just looks like a giant dog?
Hey, maybe if Filoni likes dogs, maybe he's a dog person. He's like, listen, as many dog aliens as you can make. I want them
dogs
in here.
And whales. It's all about dogs and whales.
Filoni, just dogs, whales, and little turtles. He likes turtles. Man, Filoni is such a nerd. I love it. So she goes out in order to find Ezra, and I'm like, wait a minute, how is she possibly? This is an entire planet, and they've been gone for. I mean, it's been years.
I think it's about 10 years. Supposedly.
Wow, it's been 10 years. So, and it's interesting how Thrawn really didn't know where Ezra was. He was like, listen, you can go find your friend, but there's a chance that he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I was like, listen, last time we saw you guys, he was on the deck of the Chimera with you. Maybe after they jumped through, he had to run for his life. He's like, oh, gotta get out of here. There's still a lot of stormtroopers on board. 22 Skidoo, exit stage left even. And you get out of there. But man, I'm like, how is Sabine going to find Ezra? I mean, she's on this alien planet. She's on this elf head dog wolf puppy thing, and she's just gonna what? How is it? It doesn't make any sense, But as the infamous Ryan from Pitch Meeting says, oh, she does it with bailing inconvenience. She starts just roaming through. Runs into a bunch of bandits, though. The not send people. We need to take a shot or a drink or a tally of how many things Dave Filoni is just doing from Star Wars.
You mean the Tusken Redders?
Yo, you covered that's good. The Tuscan Redders. Wow.
Yep.
Dot Chris, sign seal TM, copyright. It is. There you go. Disney paying for the rights. The Tuscan Redders. Man. That's really good. I like that, right? Because like they have their own language, they have their own cool outfits and cool look. You know, your typical band of bandits that come through, right? So Sabine's going through, and those guys are like, these are our lands in their own language. I am assuming, and she's just like, I'm trying to find my friend. They're like, kill her, take her stuff. You know, this is a barren planet. She starts fighting. With her Mandalorian guile, and man, oh gosh. I mean, some people might hate me for this, but man, I really, really need some studios to implore the use of stunt people. And on the Disney payroll, there is some fantastic and incredible stunt people. Some men and women who do some incredible stunts. I follow a lot of them on social media. They post like they're just regular practices and workouts and stuff they shoot on themselves on their own timelines. And also the stuff they worked in with Marvel, with Disney. I mean, the people who have doubled for Black Widow, for Captain America, for all these, for Scarlet Witch, all these different women throughout Marvel and Star Wars. I really need to like have them implored more because yes, if your actor is good enough to shoot the action within the frame of the camera, it's going to look amazing. But when they don't sell it, and by sell it, I mean the fight, it looks like my two nieces, who are both 2 years old and 5 years old, with us playing in the backyard with swords. It looked like, I mean, my own personal opinion, it looked like my two nieces in the backyard when I'm playing with them, or playing with like swords and like Nerf guns and stuff. Man, this is nothing to do with the actress herself, right? Her craft is performance, is acting. It's not stunt work. It's not sword work. It's not fight work. Her craft, the actress playing Sabine Wren, is to put on a good performance. That's what she studied. That's what she learned. It's not on her that it looks like she's struggling to hit some marks, and the stunt people or in the suits are waiting for her, just like Daisy Ridley in that throne room scene. I mean, I don't know. And then because I watched the fight a couple times, and I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Also, I'm
so bummed that she doesn't have her like helmet. Like, to be honest, like I was like, you just had to leave the helmet behind. But if you had it, then we could have made this way cooler.
Instant stunt person, and then boom, like, because like she's a Mandalorian who is very proficient at fighting. But it didn't look like that because you're trying to have the actor, like, and Filoni, I get it. You're trying to have, and the director of this one, you're trying to have the actor in camera because it looks better when they can do it. But don't just have the actor in camera for the sake of having them in camera when they can't pull off the stunts believably, when they can't sell it to the audience. I mean, I don't know, I'll watch it back a couple times and there you go. Boom, she's getting worked. She's using her Mandalorian stuff, and then she pulls out her lightsaber because she was getting worked too much. She's like, all right, that's it. Lightsaber. Easy mode, cut, slice, and one runs away like a Muppet. There we go. And I'm like, man, that looked great. And also, Bad Son, right? I'm watching live action Star Wars, premiere episode I've never seen before. I hate when I get bored of something and I just look at my phone. And during that fight sequence, I'm sorry, this is not the actress's fault at all. This is the director and the people making decisions, not having the mindset to be like, okay, this doesn't look that great. Let's get a stunt person in here. ILM will fix the face or whatever we need. Let's get some behind the shots or shoot it better to where the action looks better. Because if you have a Star Wars, let's have some action. Let's have some Star Wars stuff in there. It's not, let's just not have it be a drama with dialogue from beginning to end. Let's put some action scenes in there, but let's also make them good. We live in a world now where we have seen millions of people around the world have seen with their optic stems, with their eyeballs, John Wick. We cannot live in a time where we pretend that doesn't exist. Okay, we cannot live in a time before John Wick. Okay, we have to live in the time now. Look at what you're shooting. Does it look, guys, I work in production. Look at what you're shooting. Does it look good? Is it believable? Is it sellable? And if the people making the decisions can't see that it's not, we just need to hire some new people. I'm just saying, we just need some better eyeballs in the room. We need some better people. We need someone who can say, okay, not the actress's fault. Let's get the stunt person in here. ILM will fix the face in post. Boom. There we go. Her job is put on performance, which I think she's doing really well, but it's not on her to be a stunt person. It's not. Anyway, that aside, she finds Ezra. Her dog thing comes upon this alien tree turtlesaurus thingy, and then they get to the village, and then here he is. Now, Chris, last time he saw Ezra, he was younger. He blasted off into hyperspace with Thrawn. He said, "I'm relying on all of you, counting on you, Sabine." Boom. Intro, Ezra. As Rebels fan, tell me what was going through your mind. Tell me your reaction. Boom, there's Ezra.
Who is this homeless person coming out from behind the turtle hut?
It's been a while. He's no shaving kit.
It's been a while. I mean, of course, whatever. Beard. All right. He's been out here for a while. But I don't know. It was like, all right, cool. It was very exciting. I was like, all right, cool. They found Ezra. Again, didn't wait till the last episode. So, like, big ups on that one. Again, like, just, like, right now, the two big cliffhangers I thought were, like, could happen, haven't happened, which is great. Because, like, give me some resolution. And again, this is probably going to end with a cliffhanger anyways, but not where we thought. So, I'm good with that. He steps out. He's pumped. He's excited to see Sabine. I don't know. It happened. There wasn't much else to it besides like, hey, what took you so long? And then he's there.
Looking at your reaction when you saw Ezra?
Yeah, I was. I don't know. It was like, cool. We found him. Woohoo! But also, like, can I buy you breakfast or something, dude? Like.
So his look wasn't what you were expecting. You're expecting sort of.
I don't know what I was expecting. It was fine.
But just not that.
It was fine, but like also like it's the token, I don't know, guy's been lost in like Dr. Livingston, I presume, like he's been lost in the jungle and like he's got of course he's got a beard. But it is like a little jarring that like we've seen this dude when he was a kid and then all of a sudden he's got this like big ass thick beard. Whatever. It's fine. It all happened very quickly. The moment happened and then they, talked about nothing and then moved off screen and then we moved on with the episode.
I wanted some emotion from Sabine. I wanted a better moment here because man, I'm seeing a lot of man. I feel like Mugato. Am I taking crazy pills? I'm not even a fan of Rebels, and I was like, okay, here's the moment. Here's where she's going to like go crazy and scream and just like jump on the guy. That's her friend and not love interest. Okay,
but it's not the character. Like the character wouldn't do that. The character is like very like standoff and like she talks shit because she keeps people at arm's length. So I do understand that they didn't do that. But it was like weirdly, like,
but to a general audience who doesn't know Rebels and the character, like it seems strange.
Yeah,
it seems very because throughout this whole series, right, we've been hearing about, and guys, from the perspective of people who aren't Rebels fans, right, we've been hearing about this guy Ezra, we've been hearing about this guy Thrawn. To me, the series has failed to, and I sort of brought this up on other podcasts about explaining who they are and why they're important, right? So we keep hearing this word Ezra. I have no idea. If I'm a general audience member, who he is. I only know from tertiary knowledge of looking at the key episodes of Rebels and like watching the important parts, who he is. But as a general audience member, people are like, okay, I have no idea who this guy is. It's a friend of theirs. The characters care, but the show hasn't made me care about why we need to find this guy, So here he is. The explanation is he's a friend to this girl we see in front of us, right? Sabine Wren. He's such a great friend and they've been through so much that she gave a way to find him to the bad guy when her former master, or I guess now Master Ahsoka, was like, destroy that map because that's going to bring back the big bad who's with him. And he sacrificed a lot to bring him to another galaxy far away from us to bring down the Empire. So if you don't destroy that map, that big bad is going to come back. And she was like, this is my friend that I love so much, that I care about so much. I am willing to bring him back and give this MacGuffin to the bad guys in order to see him again. So to me, as an audience member, that's what I'm being shown. I'm like, okay, like here he is. And she's just like, hey. I'm like, what? What? It's so strange. But if that's the character of Sabine, then I guess it played correctly. But I mean, you guys, you got to figure there are more people who are live action didn't see Rebels, Star Wars fans, than people that are. And movies often placate to a general audience. Movies, TVs will placate to a general audience just to get a point across, a story across, their plot across. But I think Filoni's so hyper focused on Rebels fans that he's like, okay, this is how the character would react, and I guess that's fine. But it was very strange. She sees him and she's like,
spending a lot of time on vibes over like let's really establish these characters for people who haven't been in it. Yeah. He's definitely leaning heavy on what he's established before, which is fine for those of us who have seen it. But for those folks that haven't, it's you're missing out, and I get that.
Yeah, and just like I was saying earlier, my dad's an OG Star Wars fan, watched it from the beginning in a movie theater, and he said he's enjoying the Ahsoka show. But then, as I was explaining certain points and key things, like he was realizing more and more that he wasn't getting the show, and to me that's such a big disconnect. He's enjoying it at face value as not seeing any of the animated stuff. But as I explained more, okay, this is Ezra, this is Thrawn, this is blah, 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 blah. And then going over it, it's like, huh. He's like, huh. The more I explain, the more he's like, so you're not understanding the show. So you're not really getting. And he's just like.
Yeah, it should have been the equivalent of them rescuing Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. Like, that should have been the type of moment that we were looking for. And but again, with that, we've had several movies establishing, that character, but a trilogy of a movie is different than okay, here's an animated TV show that we're now jumping to a live action TV show that's shot like a movie.
Yeah. I mean, and it's so weird the conversation they have, because she's just like, oh, Sabine, you're here. How did you get here? Did what I do worked? And she's like, he was like, hey, you're here. Did it work? He's like, yes, it worked. What you did work. He's like, okay, well, how did you get here? How did you find me?
I undid all your shit.
Right. and then to me, my personal opinion, she selfishly goes, she's like, hey, can I just be happy that I found you? Can I just have that? Let's talk about that later, how I got here. Let's talk about all the important information you want to know after not seeing me for a decade. And being stranded here on a planet by yourself, making the ultimate sacrifice of summoning these space whales who can jump into hyperspace and attaching them to the hull of an Imperial Star Destroyer, one of the most evil, intelligent bad guys that ever existed. And now you're over here, you've been here by yourself, and I'm here now. Can I just have my emotions? Can I just have my feelings, please? Can you just let me have them? And he's like,
save this for the next episode?
I was like, what? I was like, what kind of selfish? And I'm like, bro. Oh, but I guess, I mean, I don't know this to be in character, but is she like a selfish piece of shit? Because I'm just like,
no, she's not.
Think about the sacrifice he made, and from his perspective, he did all that, blasted off, and then on his end, he probably still had to fight Thrawn and fight to get out of that chimera. And get to the planet's surface. I mean, there was still a lot of stormtroopers, dude. He probably had to run for his life. I mean, how is he? He's probably still on the run, or Thrawn let him go. He's like, hey, we're both stranded here. I don't know, but I gotta imagine at one point he ran for his life in order to be saved, because Thrawn was pissed, absolutely pissed. And as an Imperial officer, a rebel right in front of you who stopped you, and you understand that he's put you in a precarious situation where you can't get back. Like, I would be so mad, and I would try to freaking kill him. So from running for decades, for 10 years, from hiding out, and here's Sabine. Oh my God, how did you get here? And she's like, can I just be happy? Can you let me have my emotions, please? Why are you asking me questions? We'll talk about that later. My God, I'm like, what is this? What a piece of shit. Anyway, but I would have loved it if they're like, Sabine, it's you. And she's like, Ezra. Oh, they hug, they embrace. My God, you're still alive. You're still alive. Did it work? Yes, it worked. Okay, what happened? Where's Thrawn? Oh, you won't believe what happened. And then they start they can do like a cut of fade or flash away. And then we come back, to signify that there's a passage of time that she told him everything that transpired, so we don't have to go through it again because we saw it already. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that's all that happened. But no, it's just like, continue to next episode. Like, no, tell your story now. Tell the story now. Tell it now. Tomorrow is not promised. An asteroid can hit Earth tomorrow. Okay, like God forbid. But we gotta be fucking gone tomorrow. Tell your story now.
Bruce Willis wouldn't let that happen.
Because it was easier to make oil drillers into astronauts and astronauts into oil drillers.
It's true.
I love that movie, dude. It's so kooky. One of Michael Bay's
Say what
best.
you will about how ridiculous that movie is. It is one of the best movies ever made.
Dude, like my family used to watch it often. It was just like a feel good, like hell
It's
yeah,
the
America
perfect
movie.
America movie.
It really is. It's so good. Oh my god, I have to watch it. I have to watch it like recently, like now.
You gotta do it.
But in any case, man, yeah. So Sabine Wren and Ezra Miller meet up, and they have that little conversation in the Turtle Village, and man, dude. So, oh yeah, how did this thing end off?
I think that was basically it.
Blew my brain cells out.
Oh, you know what? No. Then Balin and Shin run into the raid the Tusken Redders, and then they're like, yeah, they're gonna help us. And then bam, it was cut to credits.
That's
Yes.
right. You're gonna speak through the Force and then understand each other, right? Like, and also, like, how are they going to help each other? Whatever.
I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I guess it's cool that they attacked her and then they just like left the two of them alone because reasons.
Because reasons. From the chat, KJ Richter, the two things I need to know after this episode: what is a calling out to Balin? Right? Like he said, there's something calling out here, and he said to Shin, "Can you feel it?" I'm like, ooh, is there some sort of ancient Jedi thing there? There has to be. I mean, the Night Sisters, I mean, it was, did the Night Sisters say if it was their world or if they're, because there's like Night Sister statues, monoliths.
Yeah, so it sounds like they had a whole civilization there for a long time, and then at some point, some of the Night Sisters left that world and traveled through the galaxy, like into the new galaxy where they set up on Dathomir, this kind of thing. But that's a very ancient area. So one thing, and I don't know that this is going, but it gave me some serious vibes, was that one thing that they ran into on Lothal in Rebels was this giant force-wielding creature called the Bendu, who is like kind of felt like a giant like god. Like he was like just this big like kind of rock monkey dude that helped them out, could foresee, is like the really like vague sage, kind of pissed off at the world, so he kind of lives on his own dude. And that something away that Balin was talking made me feel like, oh, maybe there's like a big like being here and like that knows more, that can like shape how this will all turn out. And I could be wrong, but for some reason, looking around, seeing all the rocks and things, talking about this like thing you can't see that you can kind of feel, but you don't know what's going on, gave me that Bendu vibes.
Bendu, yeah, maybe there's an ancient creature there, or some ancient temple, or part of the Force that he can harness, something he can use. Maybe he goes Super Saiyan. Maybe Filoni gives us like a new form of Jedi through all this.
And he spends three episodes powering up. Oh, we only got two left. That won't happen.
Also from KJ, what is Thrawn bringing back to the galaxy in those crates? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yeah, unclear, but it's clearly important. The man he's got a plan. He's been waiting for this for 10 years. He's been prepping to go back, and he knows that like there's an empire waiting for him. Like that's why he teamed up with the Night Sisters. Like this is it. He's like, I'm going back, and I'm taking over.
Yeah, like what if there's speculation that they're caskets and they're ancient warriors that are like in the catacombs, right? So maybe they're exhuming them, bringing them back on, and then when Thrawn goes back to the basic galaxy, the Night Sisters are going to animate them, and Thrawn will have an army, because when he gets back, he needs to have a bigger garrison. I mean, so I think Thrawn would assume that the Empire was either defeated or sort of thinned out, right? It's been some time, especially what was happening at the end of Rebels there. So I think he would assume, okay, I need to increase my numbers. He can't just go back to the basic galaxy and be like, okay, hey, where's everybody? Hey, everybody still here? Hello, is this thing on? So I wonder if there's going to be some Night Sister magic in them, bring it up. Maybe there's some Dathomirians in those things. Maybe they're an ancient force or something like that. It could be a Lord of the Rings thing with the Men of the Mountain get reanimated to fulfill their oath and fight. So
the way is shut.
The way you said by those who kept it. Oh man, but yeah, it's so crazy. Kid Director, and what was unsaid about how she got there, and that means the sacrifice. But yeah. I mean, I would have loved if she just like, yep, this is it. Oh, so happy to see you, like a little hug and stuff like that. And here we go, some human emotion. But yeah, we get other things. That's fine. Also, yeah, so this was a great episode of the Sabine show in Ahsoka. I was told that, for those who aren't familiar with Filoni's style, if he will take an episode to sort of expand on a character, explain them, get through them. But to me, it just seems like, okay, well, this is the Ahsoka show. Maybe you should have renamed it something else, especially you seeing that, okay, we're spending a lot of time with different characters, which is fine. But if we're calling it Ahsoka, I expected more of Ahsoka. And to me, I'm not getting the same stuff I'm getting from Ahsoka I am with Sabine. I know more going on with Sabine and Baylan Skoll and that than I am with Ahsoka.
There's been one
like,
episode of Ahsoka.
Yeah, dude,
the rest of it has been
just,
Rebels too.
Dude, yeah, Ahsoka's just kind of been along for the ride here. She's just been going along. I mean, she's inside of a giant space whale. Which I still think is ridiculous. Whatever. But yeah, so Chris, what do you think of this episode?
It was good. I'm glad that we got to where we needed to be, and now we're in the end game, right? Like mission accomplished. Like we figured out how to get to where we are. Now how they're going to get back? How are they going to resolve this thing where, okay, we're now pretty much stranded on this strange planet. Ahsoka's coming. We know Ahsoka's coming, right? The guy that we exiled here is about to go back, well, because of what I did. And this planet is strange properties. Like the two of the three people that got us here, had their own separate agenda of coming out here. So what's going on? Yeah, I honestly, I don't know where we're going to go from here, because I kind of wasn't expecting that we would ever get to this point this soon. I thought this was going to be where, the finale and dumb tune in next week shenanigans. So I'm excited that we get 2 episodes to bring it all home.
Yeah, man, we got 2 more episodes left of Star Wars Ahsoka. And then back to the dark times of no more Star Wars. Back to the dark times. And, I think that's why a lot of people are really attached themselves to this show, because, after this, we really don't have anything for a while. So they're just trying to absorb and enjoy Star Wars. And that's perfectly fine. If you love this thing, more power to you. I thought the episode was good overall. Obviously, some picky nits, but other than that, I don't know where the next 2 episodes are going to end up. I still think that as much as I love seeing Anakin Skywalker and that whole Clone Wars thing was cool, I think Thrawn should have been the mid-season reveal, the big pop. I think Thrawn should have been the big thing in the movie theater. Sure, seeing Anakin was cool. Love Hayden Christensen's redemption thing there. I love that we got to see some Clone Wars, and shout outs to Miss Greenblatt, who played young Ahsoka. She got to shine.
Who was also in Barbie,
again,
by the way.
Young Gamora, young
I didn't
Ahsoka.
realize it. I was like, oh my god,
she's one of the brats. She's one of the little girls who was based on the Bratz dolls. So she's in everything. Yo, good for her. W
Killing
Agent.
it.
Yo, how are you, she's 16 and she's been on the biggest properties on the planet.
Hell
W Agent. Whatever she signed up with, man. If I was an actor, I'd be like, yo, who is she with? I need to get aboard that agency. They're
Crushing
winning
it.
over there. Holy crap, Absolutely. I mean, shout out the parents who they're like, our daughter's winning. Marvel, Star Wars, Barbie. Yo, she's winning.
Drowning in this money. We're Scrooge
Everything.
McDucking in the basement right now.
Yeah, and shout outs to her. Listen, I saw some people critique her. Listen, she's young. She's 16. I think she did a good job. Some people were like, oh, not that great. I'm like, I don't know what y'all saw, but I thought she did a fantastic job. Okay, as young Gamora, she killed it. As young Ahsoka, she killed it. Her facial expressions, her getting across the pain and the anguish, her getting across the uneasiness, the nervousness, the anxiety, everything.
She was
that
young Ahsoka
with
old Ahsoka's brain being like, yeah, this was kind of messed up that I was 14 years old and freaking leading armies in here and not understanding the weight of that.
Literal actual child soldier, which is super messed up. Yeah, if you think about it. But man, I think Ariana Greenblatt did a fantastic job, bang up job. So, people critique. I'm like, yo, she's young. You don't know what you're gonna get with younger people, right? I mean, Millie Bobby Brown knocked her out of the park. She was 13 or something like that when Stranger Things came about. You never know what you're gonna get. Some of them, come across and they're not that great. They're used for one property, then boom, that's it. Some of them, wow, this person's got some serious acting chops. Let's keep using them. And fortunately for her, I think she's got it. So, I mean, hey, hopefully, we see her, but hopefully later on the line, they put her as a main in some sort of property, because she's been great so far. Absolutely killing it, But yes, the next two episodes, not sure where we're going to end up here. Are we going to get back to our galaxy? How's that going to happen? We're just going to hop back into the Purgles. Are we going to take over the Eye of Sion that Morgan Elsbeth used to come over here? Who knows? Will Thrawn make it back? Will we get back to our galaxy? Tune in next time. But yeah, guys, let us know what you thought about the episode of Ahsoka and where you want it to go. Where is these last two episodes ending off? We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Out.